all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So this is Slack. There is a desktop app available, as well as mobile apps for both iPhone and Android, and maybe other operating systems. I'm not really sure. So the first thing I want to go over is how to join Slack. And I want to actually show people how to do it, so that especially for our chapter leaders on the phone or others, really anybody can add teammates. So on this this left-hand bar over here is your navigation window. So I'm going to scroll down. It's kind of in a confusing spot, but under direct messages, I'm going to click add teammates. And there are two ways to do it. You can type in people's email addresses here and click send, and they'll get an invitation via email. But for this purpose, I'm going to click copy event, copy invite link. And this will allow me to, now I'm going to paste, I'm going to paste this link into the chat window if I can find it. And you'll be able to click on this link, and it will show you how to download Slack and then join this channel. And it's really straightforward. I'm not going to go through it now. And I would suggest that you wait until after the meeting to click this link, just so you can pay attention in the tutorial and not get caught up with the IT stuff. So that's how to join. Once you get in, the first thing I want to go over is how to set up your profile and kind of configure Slack in a way that works for you. So did I lose the screen sharing? Can you guys still?
We can still see.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Sorry, my bar went away. So to set up your profile, you're going to click on this little icon in the top right. And for me, you're going to see my picture, but for you, it's just going to be a little gray person to start. So I'm going to click on that and keep moving this thing around to work. And the first thing you're going to want to do is edit your profile. And you can kind of fill out as much of this stuff on here as you want, your name, if you have a nickname, blah, blah, blah. Your phone number if you want to share it. But we do ask that everybody put a picture of themselves, just so it makes it feel like you're talking to a real person and not these weird gray blobs. So it just makes it a more inviting workspace. So yeah, go in there, add a photo and whatever other information you want. The next thing I want to show you is how to set up your notifications. So you'll find those in profile and preferences. And there's the profile or the notifications are extremely configurable. You can kind of have it do whatever you want. The recommended notification is the direct messages, mentions, and keywords. And we'll kind of talk through these as we go, but basically this is going to give you a notification just if somebody is trying to contact you in particular, or talking about something you're interested in, which is these keywords. So say you're really excited about our state resolution project, maybe you type in HRC 22, and that would give you a notification anytime somebody puts a message with those words. So that's setting up notifications, and I will be sharing at the end a link to a guide that the Dallas chapter put together. So you don't need to take notes or anything. This will all be available later. Any questions so far? I don't want to go too quickly. No? Okay. So next I want to kind of start going over the actual user interface. So the bulk of Slack is in this section called channels. And what a channel is it's basically a dedicated workspace about a particular topic. So you'll notice there's several different channels here. When you join, all you're going to see is general and random. So general is as it sounds, these are things that are of interest to everybody. Random are kind of, more social things and memes and fun stuff. And then we also have channels for each of our committees, which we'll have breakouts for later on in the meeting. So these are just ways to kind of organize conversations about specific topics. All of the channels are public. Anybody can see anything that you post on any channel. So just make sure you're not posting things that are private. You can make private channels that you add people to manually, which I think I will go ahead and make private channels for all of our congressional districts so that liaisons can communicate with constituents more easily. So first I want to go over how to add new channels and join channels. Like I said, when you start, you're only going to see general and random. So to look at all the channels that are available, you click this Add Channel button and just go to Browse All Channels. And that will just show you a list of everything that's available. So I'm already in all of the channels, except I think for one. So if you're not in one, if you hover over it, you'll see this thing that says Join. And now I'm in the social media channel. It's been added to my bar over here. And now I can go and browse all the messages that are in that channel. If you want to create a new channel, which you're welcome to do, I know like the Dallas chapter has a channel called Climate Book Club where people share books they're reading about climate. There's a lot of different things we can do. You just click Create Channel, you give it a name and a description and create. So it's pretty straightforward to do. And people are welcome to do that. Any questions about like the channel concept in general? No? So now I kind of want to go over like how to post in a channel and just kind of some guidelines for how to properly engage with Slack, like what's the proper etiquette.
All right, Sarah, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I create a channel, does it automatically suddenly appear to everybody else?
It will appear to everybody else if they go to browse all channels, but they will then have to click the join button to join the channel. But yes, everyone will be able to see it as soon as you create it, unless it's private.
Okay, so that list of channels over on the left are only the ones you've joined.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions while we're paused? Okay, so I kind of want to go over like one, how to post in a channel and then some etiquette. One reason that we have etiquette is because we have the free version of Slack and it has a restriction on like how much history of your messages that you keep. So it will only keep the 10,000 most recent messages, which sounds like a lot. You can click on like the name up here and see like we've used 1,000 of those so far. But it does go pretty quickly if you're not following the best practice. So I just kind of want to go over, you know, how to one, keep things organized so it's easy for people to follow and how to make sure that we're like minimizing the number of messages that we send. So first, to post in a channel, all you do is type something in this messages section down here. So you push your message. I'm not going to post it because I don't want to like put spam on here. So you would just click this little send button down here. It would create a new post like Judith did earlier. A couple things, make sure when you're posting a new message, if you want to post multiple things, you don't make new posts. If you want to push or if you want to just make a new line, you can just do shift return. If it will work. It didn't seem to like that for me. That will make you a new line rather than posting it, because that way you can like fit things within one post rather than making two and eating up our limit. You can also tag people in these posts. So there are a couple ways to do that. You can do an @ sign, and this will pull up everybody in here. You can pick the person, you can tag whoever, and what this will do is this will give that person a notification when you post it. So if I want Joe to see something, I would do @Joe Garfunkel, and that would give Joe a notification once I post it. The other thing you can do is you can do @channel, and that will give everybody that's in the grassroots channel a notification. Now notice that there are 52 people in this channel. And so when you do that, you're giving a lot of people notifications, and we don't want to spam people and make this like an annoying thing to have installed on your computer. So we ask that people use this really sparingly, only if it's really truly critical for all of these 52 people to get pinged that you're saying something. Do you use @channel? What else did I want to mention on making posts?
About attaching things.
You can attach things using this little paperclip. I have never used that before, but it is a functionality. You can see like it's obviously picking up things that I have put here before. You can also add links and other things. Like it has pretty much all of the functionality that email would have. So some other things I want to mention is how to react to other people's posts. So one way that makes Slack really fun is it has this reaction capability. So if I click on this add reaction, it basically pulls up like all of the emojis that you have installed. So you can react with like whatever you want. I'll put like the celebration one. And then once somebody has already reacted, you can also just click that emoji to add another of those same reactions, or you can add additional ones. So that's like, I really encourage people to do that. It's fun when you post something to like get reactions to it, and it just makes it like a more engaging workspace. What else did I want to mention? So one really important thing is to make sure that you're using this reply in thread option. So I was really excited when I found like this section of the grassroots channel, because I got a great example of Judith, one of our great volunteers who we've highlighted recently, using Slack properly, followed by my husband using Slack improperly. So I get to give Judith a pat on the back and get to rip my husband a little bit. So that's always fun. So you should always make a new message using this box down here only for new topics. So Judith had a new topic, a question about a recent grassroots event. So she posted that in the grassroots channel. She posted it in the proper channel. This was related to grassroots, so that was good. It was a new topic, so she made a new message. Now, Jimmy did the wrong thing. When you're responding to somebody's message, instead of making a new message, you should respond in thread is what it's called. So to do that, I'll forgive him because it is sort of hard to find. I get a little bit confused sometimes. You hover over the message, and then you click this reply in thread button. And what that will do is it will allow you to make a response to that message without creating a new message. And what that looks like in the end is you get this replies thingy here. So this just makes it more organized. You don't get confused on like having to like scroll back 50 times to see the entire thread. That gets a little bit messy. So the take home is for new topics, you make a new message. And if you're responding to somebody's former topic, you do this reply in thread thing, and then you can get these long conversations. Does that make sense to everybody? And the replying works the same as the messages. Like you can tag people, you can tag the channel. So you can still, like if you want to make sure somebody sees it, you can still do that functionality the same as you can with the message. I think that's all I wanted to say about the channels and the posts. Or are there any other questions? It's a good pausing point.
Hey, Sarah, this is Mark. I was
Hey,
just
Mark.
wondering, when we get to that 10,000 limit, are they going to notify us?
I don't know, to be honest. I kind of think not. What happens is just it starts deleting old messages. So it's not like you can't post other things. It's just like if I scroll up to the top of this, like these really old messages won't be available, which like for our group is probably not a big deal, to be honest. It's probably fine that we're, not going to look at something from 5 years ago. So I don't know if they notify you, but it's not a huge deal.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
Just one question, Sarah, and I'm not sure if you can really answer this directly, but I have not personally been in the other channels. For example, I don't normally go into the grassroots, grass tops, lobbying. I'm just wondering how active those are. Are people really using it now and making, full effect from it?
I think it's kind of hit and miss. I think like our leaders are trying to use them. So, you can see John in the grass tops group, posting reminders when we have emails or when we have group meetings coming up. I would say it's like not super active, but that's why we're having this tutorial, right? Is to try to encourage people to use this. For group leaders and for other people. Like if you have an idea of a grassroots event or an endorsement you want to work on, like post it in here and see if anybody wants to help you. That's really like the point of Slack, is to do these types of communications and brainstorming ideas.
Do we want to do sort of a curated edition of channels, so you don't end up all of a sudden, all of us could get really excited about this and have 55 channels over there?
That is a good point. Let's wait and see. Like if we start to get to that point where we have too many channels, the leadership team can kind of cull them down and consolidate ones that are similar. yeah, I want people to have as much flexibility to figure out how to use the tool in the beginning. And then if it becomes a problem, we can make a Slack administrator or something like that.
Excellent.
Well, suppose I got real excited about this, and my Texas 07 lobbying team, I wanted to set up a channel, I guess, for us to communicate. Would that wouldn't appear on the left because no one would add it over there. Well, tell me how that would work. What would you do if you were?
Let's actually, John, let's do it, because I want to make I'm going to make channels for all the congressional districts. So to add a new channel, you would go create all channels, create a new channel, and let's call it Texas 07. Can I do capitals? I guess not. There's some rules about the names. Now I am going to make this channel private. And the reason I'm going to do that is, especially for our new people, our communications with congressional offices are confidential. So if I make this private now, John, you can post things that you've discussed in that meeting because constituents can see it, but then other people can't. So then, once we fill that out, we do create. And because this is a private channel, I'm going to have to add people to it manually. I don't know, John, are you on here yet? Yes.
Yes.
So I will add John. And I think, John, now that you're on here, you can add people as well by clicking this little plus up here. Now, because this is a private channel, nobody's going to be able to see it on the channel list. So for private channels, you'll have to add people manually. For public channels, you can still add people manually, I believe, but it's kind of like, I would encourage people to kind of like browse the channels every once in a while to see if new ones have been created that you're interested in joining once you've set up your initial ones. Because yeah, that is like you don't get notified when a new channel has been created that you're not added to. But yeah, if you like are talking to someone and like, hey, this climate book club thing would be cool, you can make it and you can add the people that you talked about it with.
Okay,
Any
so
other?
sorry,
go ahead.
I'm still trying to figure out for the list of channels over on the left. So suppose this gets active, Texas 07, you've got it showing up over the left, on the left. So all of the districts you would put over as a channel on the left.
Yeah, it might get a little bit big, which is why I do have this little arrow. I can minimize it so I don't see everything.
But John, remember that Sarah can see it because she's a member of it. Others that are not members will not see it on the left.
Right. Oh, okay. So.
And presumably people are going to be in like 4 channels. Like I'm in everything because, like I'm part of the leadership team, and people are totally welcome to follow as many as they want, but most people are probably going to have like 5 things over there. So it shouldn't get to be too much. And you also so people know you can browse things that are in channels that you're not a member of. Like you can just go to the browse all channels. Now I have joined all of them, but you can click on them and see what's going on without joining it. The joining basically will give you a notification when things are posted in there or when they do an @ channel. And it just kind of keeps things more organized. But yeah, you don't have to join a channel.
Only the people that are added to that channel will see it over in their list on the left.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I do want to really briefly talk about direct messaging. That can kind of wrap up our tutorial and then we can address any more questions if there's time, but I want to make sure we get to this. So you also have the ability to send private messages to individuals or to small groups of people. And it's a little bit non-intuitive, to be honest. I get confused. So you go to direct messages over here. I would think you would do add teammates. No, that's to add new people to Slack, which we learned how to do earlier. Instead, you hover, you do plus, and it gives you a new direct message. So since I was just talking with John, I can send John a direct message. I can also put other people on here. You can send to small groups, whatever. So this works exactly as you think it would. This is totally private. Nobody else will ever be able to see this conversation between me, John, and Dory. So this is a good way to, if you have, something you want to talk about to somebody in particular or something private, you can use this. We will say that like these direct messages count towards that 10,000 message limit. And if you get into a quick back and forth with somebody where you're sending like a message every minute for a while, like it gets eaten up really quickly. So if that happens and you start like having a long conversation with somebody, we just ask that like either you exchange phone numbers or email addresses or something and move that conversation to a different medium. But this is a good way, especially for new members, to get quick access to people you don't know very well. And I think that's all the things I wanted to share. So are there any other questions from the group?
This was excellent, Sarah, and thank you so much for doing this and sharing all of this
No
knowledge.
problem.
I think this will be very helpful for our group.
No problem. I did want to mention really quickly, just to avoid any potential confusion, is that this, what I'm showing you right now, what I shared a link for is the Houston Slack channel. There is also a Slack channel for the Third Coast, which covers all of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And we don't add everybody to that. We only add people that are like either in leadership or involved in like a state level initiative. And the reason for that isn't to be like exclusionary. It's just because if you add too many people, you hit that 10,000 limit more quickly. So just if you hear other people talking about that, just know that it exists. And yeah, don't get confused between that channel and the Houston one. But for the Houston one, I think we can add as many people as we want. I don't want to be restrictive on this one.
All right,
Any
excellent.
other questions?
What's the name of the CCL Houston Central? It's not channel. It's what, a group? What terminology do they use?
I don't know. For the next level up from channel?
Yes.
I don't know, to be honest. It doesn't have an adjective or a category after it.
Right.
That's a good question. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know what it is.
All right. If there's nothing else, we should probably move on so we can cover
sure.
the other items on our agenda.
Yeah, I will share in the chat a link to a guide that I like shamelessly copied from the Dallas chapter that has some of this information right now, so you can reference it later on. But there's like Slack has a website, lots of documentation, and then we're always available for a resource if you need it.